So I feel like today, for me, it was a little pivotal. We're entering dangerous territory. It started with the 𝗼𝗏 clip that hit me like a punch in the chest. The reality, this very dangerous Trumpian reality that we do need to take serious and we do need to pay attention to. This one clip from Trump's press conference earlier today where he was talking about his military parade is truly fucking startling.
Celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country. But they will be met with very heavy force.
All right, so that was his little statement there, where the president, I'm going to put it in quotes, the president of the United States said, you know, he's having a big military parade, which already is dystopian and North Korean to have this weird military parade that he's having on his birthday. $100 million in taxpayer money just right out the window, okay? And what the president of the United States says is that if there are any protesters at his military parade, they're going to be met with heavy force. Now, it's not illegal to protest. The right to peaceably assemble and protest is guaranteed. That's literally one of our First Amendment rights. This guy, this president, is basically saying if protesters show up to his little parade, he's going to use force on American citizens for exercising their First Amendment rights. Okay? Like, think about the ramifications of that. Now, I mean, you look at him and he's just a petty, small, vindictive, bitter, like not very powerful man. He's a miserable, fucking degenerate criminal piece of shit. Okay? That, like I said, when he dies, I'm going to go piss on his grave, and his death will be doing all of humanity the biggest favor imaginable. Okay? This guy is just a total scumbag. But he is now at the phase where he is saying, hey, if any of you American citizens go out and exercise your constitutional rights, I'm gonna fucking have law enforcement or the military or whatever fucking harm you with violence, with heavy force. I'm gonna use violence against any American citizens that choose to speak up and exercise their First Amendment rights. I don't know, man. That's wildly out of pocket. That is. That is indefensible. Really? Like, I'm never going to ever look at a Republican or a Trump supporter who ever utters anything about the First Amendment. I'm going to spit right in their fucking face and be like, fuck you, right? No right-wingers, no MAGA Trumpers ever get to say anything about the First Amendment ever again, okay? Because their little bronzer-faced clown bitch here is fucking way over the line. But dude, isn't that a stunning admission? That's one of the craziest things. Now, I don't know that I have ever in my life, other than Trump, I don't think I've ever heard an American president threaten U.S. citizens. Like, I've never heard a U.S. president, other than Trump, ever threaten American citizens. As you shouldn't, right? You shouldn't. There's like, the president's job is to care for and protect the rights of all U.S. citizens, whether they voted for him or not, whether they hate him or love him or not. That's literally the job. The job is to, fight for the well-being and the care of all U.S. citizens. And now what we've seen in the last day, 2 days, is we have seen how Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and really Trump's entire cabinet, they have basically declared that their entire presidency and their entire administration is just a partisan effort. Okay? They are only there to take care of the MAGA people and the Trump supporters and the people who agree with them, and everyone else will potentially be met with violence or, you know, being sent to an El Salvadorian prison or being threatened with arrest or being, you know, attacked with their throngs of legions of fans or, you know, have the military or the National Guard called to, you know, force them into submission, etc. Like completely partisan. Like even the military.
If there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force. Thank you very much.
And then he fucking won't take any questions. Why? Because Taco, you know, he is who he is, dude. He's a degenerate piece of shit. Now, you may look at the No Kings. So the No Kings protest, right, is everywhere but DC. Okay? Now, I admit I kind of would like the fucking showdown. I know I'm into that shit, the confrontation. But so the idea behind No Kings is there's going to be, look at all those protests, okay? There's going to be protests in all of these blue locations, okay? But there's not going to be any protests in DC. I believe the No Kings movement, I don't know now that Trump said that if there will be a protest there, but the No Kings movement is about having massive protests and a mass mobilization of people in the country everywhere but Trump's little military jerk-it parade, which I understand the reasoning behind it. Like, one, they don't want to give Trump the excuse to do his devious, deceitful, harmful shit. And two, they want to generate a much bigger storyline that dwarfs the storyline of his little parade, right? And have massive throngs of people showing up in cities all over the country that far outnumber the number of people showing up at his little shithead parade. Now, see, I personally would prefer to have like 2 million people show up in DC and just shut down his parade and just make it so they can't fucking move. And like, you know, the only option they'd have would be to Tiananmen Square, would be to drive tanks over people, which would then, you know, lose them huge amounts of popular support because murdering your citizens with tanks is never a good idea. But I'll be honest, dude, I actually feel like right now, Donald Trump could drive over some people, protesters, with a tank and murder them. And I think a third of the country would actually fucking cheer that. Like, I think the right-wing shitfluencers and these weird MAGA Christians, those fake Christian pieces of shit, I think they would actually cheer if he just openly murdered some Democrats or protesters or undesirables publicly. I think we're at the point where some of these MAGA people would actually be celebrating that, right? You can see it. They're bloodthirsty. It's pretty wild. I've not seen that in my lifetime. I know we used to have that type of bloodlust in the 40s and in the 50s when lynchings were occurring in the days of the America First KKK movement. There was that kind of bloodlust. If they felt a black man had wronged a woman or something, there would be a crowd mob mentality and they would, pickups and shit. They would go hunt people down and in mobs, drag them to a public park and lynch them up into trees and cheer, and everybody would show up and hang out and have a fucking, you know, fucking social event out of it. You know what I'm saying? And so that is fucking crazy. But I never witnessed that. That was before I was born. But we're there. We're definitely there now. We are definitely there. The thing that I guess is startling to me about the current state of the MAGA movement is that they want, like, they're okay with people being harmed. You know what I mean?
We're the only country that didn't celebrate the victory, and we're the one that won the war. Okay, if it wasn't for us, that war, you would be speaking German right now, okay? We won.
You would be speaking German? Dude, it wasn't for us, like, who would be speaking German? What is he talking about? I mean, in Europe, everybody speaks German. They speak all their neighbors' languages, but like what is he saying? We would be speaking German? Like, does he not even know? Dude, he's so dumb, bro. Oh my God.
The war. And you might be speaking Japanese too. I mean, you might
we might be speaking Japanese.
Speaking a combination of both. We won the war, and we're the only country that didn't celebrate it. And we're going to be celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
You notice, though, he says that shit about you're going to be met with force, and then he doesn't take any questions afterwards, though. Right? You see how he didn't take any questions? He just dropped his little threat. Like, I'm sorry, Trump, what do you think we're all Kristi Noem's dog? I hate to break it to you there, fucking shit kicker, but we're gonna kick your fucking ass, Donald Trump. All right, get ready, buddy. We're just getting started. Wait till we take the House back in 2026 and we shove an investigatory microscope so far up your fucking ass that your prostate is going to be talking to your larynx. And then as soon as you get out of office, we're going to put your bronzer, sweaty, fucking 2-inch pricked ass right in fucking prison. Okay? What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.